Everybody is watching September 4th, but here is something that nobody's watching. A second ingredient in your January 2027 payment coming into your January 2027 check. That is being set right now, actually this month, August 2026. There's no deadline for it, nothing to submit because your January 2027 payment isn't made of only diagnoses. And CMS published the recipe in July, 5 weeks ago, on page 8 of the memo that almost nobody will pay attention to. I'm Dr. Prince Baawuah, and welcome to the Risk Adjustment Made Easy. Let's get into today's. CMS published the January 2027 recipe, and in it, you will see that there are several things that makes up the January 2027 payment. There are definitely diagnoses that shows up, and CMS is leveraging dates of service July 2025 through June 2026, and the door closes on September 4th, 2026. So the deadline is coming up very quickly. Also, the community versus long-term institutional status is being set at August 2026, something that we typically do not pay attention to. And the low income subsidy status is going to be January 2027. Two of the three have nothing to do with coding. No chat chase touches them, but they are critically important because they affect receiving fair, accurate, complete, and timely risk adjustment payment. Ingredient 1, which is diagnosis, and that is what we all mostly talk about. The initial model run is using a shifted year, like every initial. This is leveraging July 2025 through June 30th, 2026, and the mid-year and the final will use a full calendar year, but for the initial, it is using split months. And the deadline for that is closing on September 4th. I know we are in 2026, but you are triaging the submission to get out the old one first. So if I am working through the July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 are the ones that I will triage to submit first for 2027 payment. Ingredient number 2, which is the August snapshots. HPMS memo that was released in July on page 8. CMS is using the community versus long-term institutional status is based on August 2026 LTI status. And in one reading, 1 month is set for the factor for the 6 months that you'll be leveraging. As you work on your calculation, as you work on all the payment things, make sure you are using August 2026 LTI status. That is going to affect that for payment for the rest of the first 6 months. You don't need to submit anything. There's no deadline to mess on that one. There's no edit on that one, but many times it goes unchecked, and that can affect accurate payment analysis. What you can do is pull your August long-term institutional count, and that population will be factored and will fixed into the next half of next year's payment. Ingredient number 3 is the low income. For this one, the low income status will be based on January 2027 low income status for January, and also a single reading of the initial run. LTI is 5 months before, but LIS is in the first month, and mid-year and final LIs become month by month of the payment. So a single January reading is a simplification, and letter goes back to the month by month. As you pay attention to your January through your June payment, this is the third ingredient for the LIS low income subsidy that you want to factor into how that will show up in your January payment. The same person, same diagnosis will receive different checks. The beneficiary's factor type used after the mid-year score may be different from the initial scores because of the LIS and the LTI status. So you want to keep that in mind as you work on payment analysis. Nothing in that sentence is about diagnoses. Your diagnoses, you're submitting them, but for these ones, just pay attention to the specific point in time CMS is leveraging to calculate the risk score. A risk score can move between runs, not because of diagnosis code, but because of these things that are many times not being considered and can also affect payment. Then the math comes in here. In calendar year or payment year 2027 normalization, you are looking at 1.07 for 2024 CMS-HCC non-pays Part C, which is most of the parts. Then for the 2017 CMS-HCC pays, you're looking at 1.0202, and ESRD looking here, pays, here are the numbers, and functioning graft, here are the numbers, and the RxHCC, here are the numbers. As you work on your payment year 2027 initial, these are some of the numbers that you keep in mind as you put the math together for your accurate payment. Part D runs on the 2027 RSHCC model with 2023-2024 calibration. New separate continual enrollee segment for MAPD plans and standalone PDP, and it's updated for the IRA benefit changes in effect in 2027. PACE is a blend, so you want to keep in mind, we talked about it last week, that PACE is a blend, so 50% and 50% blend. Therefore, it will be affected into your January 2027 payment through June 2027 payment that you need to keep it track of. Diagnoses right here, mid-year and final. Community LTI will be used in August. This will be February, then month to month. And LIS you will see here. So this is a great slide to have as you plan on your 2027 payments as they come in according to how CMS has published things. When does the money actually shows up? For 2027 initial, money start coming in January 2027 through June 2027. That is where initial is being applied. Mid-year shows up July through December, and then the final gets reconciliation about 2.5 years with the deadline January 31st, 2028. So as you plan on your payment year 2027, starting with January, you'll have mid in mind and also final in mind. But for now, as we hit the deadline, you want to focus on the January payment while also pre-planning for the mid-year and the final, because mid-year deadline is in March and it will come pretty soon before you recognize. Before September come in, you want to triage your submissions, make sure the orders are first. Put your August LTI because that's what's going to be used. Put your demographic terms together, and all of them start working out with your team on the math to make sure all data make it. If they haven't yet made it, all the data make it to CMS on time, and you see the risk adjustment eligibility on your MAO2s, MAO4s, and you are cleared for your January 2027 payment. Before you go, if you have not already received our signature gift, it's from Chaos to Clarity, the essential cheat sheet mapping fee-for-service wraps and encounter data side by side. You can download your copy at go.thehealsacademy.com and you get your free copy. If this has been helpful to you, share, subscribe, and I will catch you same time next week as we continue on our preparation towards our January 2027 initial payment. Thank you and catch you again. Bye for now.